Hey, what's up? This is Chosen. Hope you're having a fantastic Friday. The weekend is almost here, and we have got to get you caught up on Raid Shadow Legends as we have got an in-game price adjustments. No way. This can't be happening. Let's dive into exactly what is happening here, and the L's just keep on coming. The blessings and everything kind of going on in the game. We just keep getting hit in the face by these things. But what we're going to do is give you full context on Raid as we head into the weekend with everything going on in the game and the community. Let's get into it. Alrighty, so first of all, let's go over this in-game price adjustments news. We would like to let you know that due to a coming change by Apple in regards to their platform price policies on February 13th, which is just a couple days from now, prices of apps and in-app purchases, excluding auto-renewable subscriptions on the App Store, will increase in certain regions, and this is going to be Colombia, Egypt, Hungary, Nigeria, Norway, South Africa, and the United Kingdom. In addition, prices in Uzbekistan will decrease to reflect a reduction of the value-added tax rate from 15 to 12%, and to ensure parity across all platforms. We'll replicate this increase elsewhere on other platforms during the next week. Okay. We hope that these changes won't affect your in-game experience, that you continue to enjoy Raid. Okay, so this is hilarious. Me living in the United States, I read this and I'm like, oh, hey, I finally got lucky in Raid, and price adjustments that are going up aren't going to affect me. Then you keep reading, oh, okay, to ensure that it's fair, we're going to replicate this everywhere else too, just to make sure that we gouge as much price increase as we can. So, oh boy, that is a big rip, and I'm gonna have to take a look at the offer calculator that we developed, and I'm gonna have to see what ends. I've been covering the in-game packs since basically day one, so hopefully this isn't too crazy, and hopefully they adjust their packs to make up for this. I don't know that it's gonna happen. Unfortunately, it basically looks like Raid's gonna get like 15% more expensive to play for those people that spend. And I know that I've been hearing rumblings the last few months about Apple changing where they're having their chip production and really trying to adjust how they're kind of building everything within Apple. So I wouldn't be surprised if the price of iPhones goes up, and it looks like they're going to be passing that price on to the consumer. And then Plarium is not just going to eat that. They are going to pass that on to the consumer as well. So a little bit of a domino effect with some of the stuff going on over there with Apple. But I guess the one silver lining here would be that hopefully it's not universal. Unfortunate for Apple users, but I hopefully it doesn't also get passed on to other device users and PlariumPlay users and all that. Hopefully this doesn't just turn into a blanket sweep 15% increase, because Raid is already insanely expensive to play. I think that would be a huge L. So I'm hoping this is a temporary thing, or they adjust the packs or adjust the game in some way to make up for this and adjust for this. But admittedly, the chance of that happening in our favor is probably exceedingly low. So there's that, and we're getting the Raid weekend started off with a blast here. But anyway, for the stuff going on in game, 2x Voids is happening this weekend, and it looks like a pretty standard 2x. And the unfortunate thing is that it coincides with a tournament going on for the Fusion in the Champion Chase tournament, but there is no epic like we've seen sometimes in some of these events before. You'll need to get to at least 2,500 points to scoop up the rare on the right side in order to keep pace with the Fusion. And if you're curious, off the top of my head, I'm going to say this takes somewhere around 30 void shards probably. I would think if you got it in under 30, that would be pretty decent luck. And then if you get up to like 35, 40, that would be kind of bad luck. So that is pretty unfortunate. 30 or 40 void shards is very, very expensive, but it is a 2x. So it's not the most awful time to pull, especially if epics are still important to you. I did do a dedicated video recently talking about 2x events and how they're not actually technically 2x events over the long haul in terms of legendary acquisition. So worth checking out if you haven't seen the actual math behind that. But 2x events are always fine for early and mid game accounts because there's still so many different champions you need. You know, I'm kind of in a conundrum myself. I'm always so low on void shards, and I want to be able to save up for the next guaranteed event that I want to go after. Like, I wanted to go after Shogger, but with the inflation and with me being slammed down by like the 10x for Acrisia and everything, I just couldn't justify getting close enough to that 110 required. So I'm trying to kind of gather my bearings here on void shards, and we just haven't been able to for the last few months. So gosh, you know, it's like, do I honestly skip the fusion and save my void shards, or do I try something else? So these are the different options I'm going to be weighing over the course of the weekend. Now, there is also a champion training tournament where we have got the new champion that pairs up, that tandems with the Fusion Oella. And, you know, I actually meant to talk about this in yesterday's video, and I didn't even, it just kind of like blew out of my mind when I was talking about stuff. So I didn't even end up getting to it. But yeah, this is pretty crazy. I would say this is there's gonna be wild RNG depending on your group. You're probably gonna have to get somewhere between like 60,000 and 100,000 points to win this realistically in most groups. And then obviously some of your global leaderboards are going to be at like 150 to 250. Who knows, you know, when they get these whales in the same group with each other that want to get after this. Like, you know, I don't know. I don't really think it's worth it. I think he's a fun champion. I think he does pair decently well. But he's not like you remember when they had the Krisk event, and you know, it's not like he's Krisk where it justifies the investment. So it's like this weird middling road where if you could get him for realistic, like if it was, you know, like if you're in a group where you're lucky and people aren't going crazy, then maybe like if I woke up this morning and the top 3 people weren't here, like if the leader was at 4,900 or something, then I might be like, okay, maybe. But when there's somebody already at 20K, I know that they're going to be willing to go up to like 75K, and I'm just not willing to do that to add this champion. Now, something they could do to spice these things up is they could make this like an automatic 4 empowered champion or something, and then people would and then that would kind of change the math, because if I could get a 4 empowered champion to pair with the fusion or something, would be interesting. I would wonder what your thoughts are on that. Would that be a good thing or a bad thing? I'm just kind of trying to spitball off the top of my head here on things that would really incentivize me to want to spend the resources. I mean, one champion that is unbooked, or maybe at least they give you a booked up version. Maybe, how about that? Maybe not a fully empowered version, but when you win the champion training, you get a fully booked version or something. I don't know. But anyway, an unbooked 1 empowerment normal legendary champion at the level of Ulton isn't going to be really worth my time personally, but I know I have some friends and other people in the community that are really dedicated to going after him. So if you are, I wish you luck. It's probably going to be tough. Then for the other stuff happening in game, we've got the Ice Golem tournament that you want to get to 20 to 50, and you've got another day and a half or so to scoop up the rewards there. You can see I'm pretty close here on the Ice Golem tournament. The one that's going to be difficult for me to kind of weigh my options is going to be that Champion Chase tournament. And then there are also a couple events starting today. You've got the Dungeon Divers that's going to double dip with the Ice Golem, and then you've got the Artifact Enhancement event. You're going to have to get down to 47.75 to scoop up the rare, and then on the Dungeon Divers you will have to make sure and get to 37.50. And like I said yesterday, CVC is going to be starting in just a couple days here on a Tuesday, so prepare your books and your Great Hall and everything accordingly. Now, in the shop, what do we got going on here? Is there anything worth plugging in? Bonus Void Pack, maybe. There's a Void String. Usually these are some of the better offers for high spenders. Personal Pack Builder. This is the same one that they've done before. It would be something like this. But yeah, yep, nope, we've done that before. And I remember my analysis was that this should cost $20, not $30. If it was $20, this would be something a little bit more towards like the middle tier spenders, but this is just for the high tier spenders. But let's plug in the bonus Void Pack for those curious during the Void Weekend. So we got a price of 25, and then gems of 500, silver of 500K. and 21 XP brews. And then the big part of it is obviously going to be the 7 voids and a 1.06. So anybody that's a high spender, this is a good offer. It's above a 1.0, but for the low tier and mid tier spenders, this would probably be a pass. And also, if you weren't around a whole lot yesterday, we saw some craziness about some newer versions of the bosses that makes it look like it is going to be a hard version. Now, I had some people in the comment section and in some of the polling that I was doing and stuff talk about how this may just be an upgraded reskin of the bosses, and it might not mean there are new dungeons or like Uber versions of the dungeons or anything. And to be fair, that is possible. This is like data mine, leak type stuff, and we don't have confirmation from Plarium. But I would say that like the folders and the way they're coded in the game, it's literally called like hard Fire Knight. You know, it's like a different Fire Knight. It's not like an upgraded image, at least right now in our current understanding of it. And in my polling on the channel, it looks like 60% of the player base would be in favor of at least having an option of some of those higher tier Uber type dungeons to aspire to, which honestly surprises me. I thought that this number would be flipped. I thought it would be 40% in favor and 60% against. So that goes to show you that a lot of your trending towards end game players are finding that the dungeons are extremely unrewarding and are open to a new challenge, and if the energy cost is reasonable and all that type of stuff. And in case you are curious, there is about 22% of the player base that is currently serious about going after the OLED Fusion. It seems like a pretty unhyped time in the community in terms of going after something. This does not feel like Nishok or Mighty Uko or Pythion. This feels like kind of that next tier down, where even though Oella is a decent champion, I think there's a little bit of fatigue in how many events have been constantly thrown at people, and how, you know, the champion's decent but not god tier, and I think people are just kind of ready to take a step back and take a deep breath. So you know, as opposed to somewhere like Pythion, if we go down and look, you will see right here that we had 75% of the player base that really wanted to get after the Pythion events. So right now with Oella, it's 22% versus like 75% on Pythion, given the polling here over on the community tab of the channel, which is obviously a very crazy difference. It's like 3x better in terms of people wanting to go after Pythion. So yeah, we'll have to continue to monitor the situation when it comes to this in-game price events. Obviously, a very unfortunate thing to be happening. You know, Plarium could really use a home run right now with the blessings, shenanigans, and then this in-game pricing, and then the gouging people of shards, and the Oella Fusion being very underwhelming, and just everything kind of happening in the community right now. I think that the community could use a shot in the arm. So, you know, hopefully Plarium comes out with something really cool and really fun and really exciting for the players somewhat soon, because I know we could use something positive to talk about for a change. And also, I'm always making adjustments here on the channel to try and evolve and try new and fun things. And I've had a few of you leave input that that this scene that I've created while I'm kind of talking is kind of fun, but that the screen over there is too small and too hard to kind of see, and the office environment's taking up too much of the picture. So I am working on that. I'm gonna, like, you know, maybe slide myself over or make it smaller so that I can make the screen and what I'm talking about take up more of the space. You know, I wanted something. I wanted like a more fun environment, as opposed to me just kind of like sitting here in the bottom of the corner while I've got the raid town pulled up behind me. Because like normally when I'm talking about something for a minute or two, I'm just sitting here like this. I wanted a more fun environment instead of just this boring staring at the home screen of raid. So that was the thought process on trying to make like a scene while we're talking. But I am gonna listen to your feedback, and I am gonna make it a little bit bigger and able to feature what I'm talking about, so you can see it easier while we are in the office like this. But that'll do it for me on this one. As always, remember to subscribe on your way out if you enjoy daily Raid Shadow Legends content. Have a great rest of your Friday heading into the weekend, and good luck if you're going for the Oella Fusion. I'll see you soon in the next video. Thanks. Peace.